guys, how's it going? These are the questions that you submitted, the questions that you wanted to know the answers to, as far as I can answer them at least. This is ear stretching part 2, so let's get started. We're going to talk about 4 things in this video. They're going to be how to tell if your ear is swollen from stretching or if it's infected, like in that little in-between time. Maybe you ripped it, maybe it got infected, or maybe it's just swollen because it's a little upset at you. We're going to talk about what you shouldn't put on your ears. Things that are too harsh can dry your ears out, can take away, the useful moisture in your ear. It'll dry them out really bad. We're going to talk about why you shouldn't stretch too fast, the bad things that can happen, your ears thinning, stuff like that. And the last thing we're going to talk about, what to do if your ear blows out. And as we go, there's going to be some pictures over here, and I'm going to be telling you the people that submitted the questions. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is how to tell if your ear is swollen just from the stretch or if it's infected. If your ear is just, kind of red, and you just stretched, and it only hurts for maybe 30 minutes, like an hour or two, then it's probably just upset from the stretch. But if that pain is actually, pretty unbearable, it hurts really bad, or if the pain stays there for more than, say, 3 hours, you really want to think about, you might have torn your ear. It might, could be infected just because of the stretch. It's not going to get infected immediately, but if you tore it, it has potential to become infected. But if you let it stay and the pain still's going, you're into the day, 2 days now. If you're seeing any blood around, your earring, if there's any pus, any kind of nasty discharge, if it smells way worse than it normally does, it's probably infected. You really want to think about downsizing. And what you want to do, downsize back to where you were and do some sea salt soaks. Put the sea salt in hot water and just soak your ear in it for a while. Make sure you stayed at that smaller size, and it's really going to heal your ear up faster. And it's going to, just give it some time, and then you'll be able to stretch back up. This question came from Zevil, something like that. It's down here on the screen. But basically, if the pain keeps going for more than an hour, I guess, something around there, or it's more than you can really stand, it's probably torn and it has potential to become infected. And then if it's pussing or bleeding, it's more than likely obviously infected. So downsize, get into the sea salt soaks, give your ear and your body time to heal that wound, and then you can start stretching back up. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the things you shouldn't be putting on your ears because it can dry them out, possibly damage them, or just be really harmful for them. Things you shouldn't be putting on them are things like rubbing alcohol because it'll dry out your skin. Hydrogen peroxide will do things along the same lines of drying out your skin. And also, like regular hand soap will dry your skin out pretty bad. If you're drying your ears out, it's going to be bad for them because it'll thin them, crack them, things like that. And it's just not good for them. Things you could be putting on your ears that are actually really helpful. This is vitamin E, A, and D creams from GNC. It's like $1.50 or something. Really good stuff. It smells like a grandmother though. Not too bad though. This is jojoba oil. It's really helpful. It'll make your ears kind of thick and puffy when you put it on there. Gets the blood flowing. Pretty good stuff. And this is emu oil. It actually is supposed to help get rid of scar tissue and things along those lines. If you have scar tissue because of a blowout or something like that, you can look for bio oil around your local pharmacies and stuff, and that'll really help get rid of scar tissue over time, though. It's not going to be immediate. So look into any of those products, and also bio oil if you've got some kind of scar tissue, but don't dry out your skin and your ears, really. So no hydrogen peroxide, no rubbing alcohol, any harsh kind of hand soap. You really don't want to put those kind of things on your ears because it'll dry them out. It's like chapped lips, basically. And you know how chapped lips feel, so chapped ears is no good for sure. Alright, let's move on to the next thing. Alright, so we're going to talk about why you shouldn't stretch too fast. Basically, if you stretch too fast, you could be doing more damage than good. You can be creating scar tissue from tearing them, ripping them. You can be causing blowouts, which are obviously not good because it's a lot of scar tissue, way harder to stretch. You can also be thinning out your ears. just from stretching too fast, your body doesn't have enough time to regenerate the collagen cells that you're stretching, so it's going to actually make a thin spot, and your ears are going to get thinner and thinner progressively as you stretch faster. You really want to take your time in between stretches because it gives your body time to heal itself from the stretch, even if you didn't tear. And it's actually a lot better just to take your time, let the blood flow through for, anywhere between 2 months to 6 months, just however long you're willing to wait, as long as you don't rush it. If your body is not going to take the stretch, don't do it. Just make sure you're taking your time and waiting in between all these stretches, or you could end up with some pretty nasty side effects. The last thing we're going to talk about in this video is what to do if your ear tears or blows out. This question was submitted by 2 people actually, Tavion12, you can see it over here, and Mamiya93, you can see it over here also. Basically, if your ear tears or blows out, it's a pretty bad thing because there's a lot of things that can come out of it. If your ear just tore or blew out, you want to downsize. If you're seeing blood, take out the new jewelry, go back to old jewelry. You really want to think about not just downsizing one size, but 2 or 3 sizes, because the more you can close up the wound, it's going to be a lot better for it, because you're actually closing it up, so it's not going to have to make scar tissue to fill it in. Scar tissue is really bad because it's really hard to stretch. It's going to make your stretches more painful, a lot slower, because you can't stretch it as fast, if any, really. If you just blew it out, you've downsized, you want to think about doing some sea salt soaks, because the sea salt's going to help heal your ear. It's going to get the bad bacteria out. It's going to heal up the wound. It's going to clean it. It's going to do a lot for it, along the lines of healing it up. If you had an old blowout, like it blew out a year ago or 6 months ago, whatever. If you have a blowout and the scar tissue's there and it's set in, you really can't do a lot about it as far as wishing it away. You're going to have to get something that removes scar tissue. Jojoba oil, it softens skin, and it's actually good for your skin, It could do some things for getting rid of blowouts, scar tissue, things like that. There's a product called Bio Oil that it gets rid of scar tissue, but it's over a long period of time. You're not going to see 1-day results, 2-day results. You really have to stay persistent with it and keep putting it on there to actually get rid of the scar tissue over time. Basically, if you have scar tissue, it's going to be a lot tougher to get rid of. If you just blew your ears out, you can downsize and get rid of it a lot faster. Hopefully it won't even stay there, One other thing you can do is, if you have a blowout, you can actually put your jewelry in backwards. It's what people call the tuck method, and it's putting that scar tissue in there, and hopefully that your body will actually kind of take it back. I've heard of a couple people doing it. It's really, you have to find more information about it than what I know, because I've heard about it and the people that have done it said it worked, but I guess it's just really up to your body if it's going to re-accept that tissue. So, if you have any questions, just let me know. Alright guys, this has been everything for ear stretching part 2. These are your submitted questions, the things that you wanted to know. If there's anything else I didn't really touch on, or there's some things that weren't even in this video that you'd like to know about, go ahead and either leave it in a comment down below, or you can head over to my channel page and put a moderator module on there so you can actually submit questions and things you'd like to see in upcoming videos. So if there's something you'd like to see in the next ear stretching video, just shoot it in the moderator module and we'll put it in the next one. Thanks for watching. I hope everything goes great. Keep stretching safe and all that stuff. So have a good one.